The Jaeon mansion at night was the definition of silence. No guards moved inside, no servants dared to wander. Everyone knew that disturbing the Mafia King's rest was a death sentence. But your rest refused to come. Tossing and turning under the silk sheets, you gave in to temptation. Quietly, you slipped from the bed, your bare feet padding against the marble floor, and padded into the living room. You settled into the velvet sofa, your phone clutched in trembling fingers. The glow of the screen lit up your face as you pressed play on a video you weren't supposed to be watching, a forbidden one, filled with the kind of intimacy and heat your husband never allowed you to seek elsewhere. Your breath hitched as you bit your lip, trying not to make a sound. If Jungkook ever found out. The thought sent a shiver through you. But you couldn't stop. Not tonight. That was when a voice, deep and cold, shattered the silence. Jungkook. YN. You froze. Slowly, dread filling your veins, you turned. There he was, Jaeon Jungkook. Your husband. Your Mafia King. His black silk shirt hung loose against his broad chest, his tattoos peeking from the collar, his dark eyes sharper than any blade. And those eyes weren't on you. They were on your phone. Your fingers fumbled, dropping the phone onto the carpet. The sound was small, but the weight of it felt like thunder. YN. Jae Jungkook. Your voice cracked as you tried to explain. I couldn't sleep in. Jungkook. Don't. His voice cut through the air, harsh and commanding. He stepped closer, every stride heavy with restrained rage. Don't you dare lie to me. You shrank back against the sofa, your heart hammering in your chest. He had never raised his voice at you before. Usually, his anger was icy calm, the kind of control that scared enemies into silence. But this was raw. Unfiltered. Watching filth like that in my house. My wife. He spat the word like a curse, his jaw tightening. Do you know how it feels to see you craving something from someone else? Tears blurred your vision. You wanted to speak, to beg forgiveness, but your throat was dry. Suddenly, his hand slammed against the wall beside your head. You flinched, a sob escaping your lips. Jungkook. You think I'm not enough for you? He growled, his face inches from yours. YN. I'm sorry, you whispered, your voice trembling. For a long moment, Jungkook only stared at you. His chest rose and fell, each breath heavier than the last. Then, his hand moved, gripping your chin firmly and tilting your face up to meet his dark gaze. Jungkook. You don't need them, YN, he hissed, his voice low and dangerous. You don't need to watch anyone else. You don't need to wonder what it feels like. Because I can give you everything. More than they ever could. Your lips parted in shock, your tears glistening under the dim light. The fury in his voice was shifting into something else, something hotter, darker. YN. Jungkook, you whispered, your heart thundering. His thumb dragged across your lower lip, slow and deliberate. His touch was rough, but the way he lingered betrayed something deeper. Jungkook. You're mine, he said, his words like a vow. And if you're curious about what you were watching, then I'll show you myself. Every part, every way. Jungkook suddenly pulled away, running a hand through his dark hair, his tattoos shifting with the movement. His voice was tight, full of control he was seconds away from losing. Jungkook. Go to our room. You blinked, stunned. What? Jungkook. Now, YN. His eyes burned into yours, brooking no argument. You scrambled up, your legs weak, and hurried up the staircase, your mind a storm of fear, guilt, and something else, anticipation. Inside the bedroom, the heavy door clicked shut behind you. You turned to see him standing there, tall and broad-shouldered, his presence so overwhelming it made your knees weak. He didn't speak. He only stared at you for a long, tense moment, his chest rising and falling. Finally, he stepped forward. His voice was low, rough. Jungkook. Sit. You obeyed, perching on the edge of the bed, your hands knotted tightly in your lap. Jungkook approached slowly, like a predator circling his prey. He stopped before you, his fingers hooking under your chin again, forcing your gaze upward. Jungkook. You wanted this, he murmured, his eyes searching yours. Didn't you? You couldn't speak. You couldn't even breathe. Jungkook. I'll make sure you never, ever have to look elsewhere again, he whispered, his tone a dangerous promise. The silence between you stretched on, heavy and suffocating. Jungkook's dark eyes bore into yours, and for the first time since marrying him, you realized just how terrifying he could be when his emotions slipped through his carefully built armor. He wasn't just the mafia boss tonight. He wasn't the man the world feared. He was a husband, furious, jealous, and burning with a need to remind you who you belong to. Jungkook. You're scared, he said finally, his voice husky but calm, almost mocking. His thumb brushed away a stray tear from your cheek. Good. You should be. Because I've never raised my voice at you before, but tonight, you crossed a line. Your lips quivered. I didn't mean. Jungkook. Shish. He placed a finger against your lips, silencing you instantly. His touch was rough but lingering. Don't waste excuses. I don't want to hear them. Your heart pounded, your chest rising and falling too fast. You couldn't tell if it was fear or something else coursing through your veins. Jungkook leaned closer, so close you could see the faint scar near his jawline, a reminder of his violent world. His voice dropped to a whisper, each word vibrating against your skin. Jungkook. You think some screen can give you what I can't? You think I'll allow my wife to crave anyone but me? His eyes darkened. Never. His hand slid to the back of your neck, firm but not painful, pulling you closer. You're mine, YN. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought. And tonight, I'll make sure you never forget that. Your breath caught, your fingers twisting into the bedsheets. You had seen his anger before, seen him command men with a single glance. But now, that same fire was directed at you. Before you could process, his leapy dollar crashed against yours. Not gentle, not soft. It was a key dollar filled with possession, with fury, with a desperate need to claim. You gasped against his UTH, but he didn't let you pull away. His hand cupped your face, holding you in place as his lips moved against yours with a bruising intensity. When he finally broke the kiss, his breath was ragged, his forehead pressed against yours. Jungkook. This is what you need, he growled softly. Not them. Not anyone else. Only me. Your chest heaved, your fingers trembling as they clutched at his shirt. YN. Jungkook. He smirked faintly, though his eyes still burned. You're trembling. Afraid of me. You hesitated before whispering. YN. A little. His jaw clenched. Then, to your shock, he chuckled low in his throat. Good. You should be afraid, because when it comes to you, YN, I don't know how to stop. He stood, towering over you, his presence suffocating yet magnetic. His tattoos shifted as he unbuttoned the top of his silk shirt, revealing more of the ink across his chest. Jungkook. Stand up, he ordered. You obeyed instantly, your legs shaky. Jungkook circled you slowly, his eyes scanning every inch of you, as if daring you to look away. You felt like prey under a predator's gaze, but at the same time, his nearness sent shivers racing down your spine. Jungkook. From tonight, he said, his voice dangerously calm, you don't hide from me. If there's something you want, something you crave, you tell me. Understand? You nodded quickly. Why yes. He stopped in front of you, tilting your chin up once more. His gaze softened slightly, just slightly, as if a crack in his armor had appeared. Because if you don't, he whispered, his thumb brushing your lip again, I'll find out anyway. And it'll be worse. He pounced, pinning you down again. His leapy dollar moving on yours like a $T. Unleashed. You mowed Ned into the key dollar. Your fing euro RS tangled in his hair. His TNGUE begged for enter at ends, but you kept your leapy dollar tightly shut. He groaned. Frustrated, he SQU euro Z your che registered wise. Making you ga $P, and that was his chance. His TNGUE slipped into your MUTH, dominating the key dollar. His Li P dollar moved from your MUTH to your jawline, trailing H0T key $S down to your N euro CK. But the thin fabric of your Ling euro Rai was in his way. With one swift motion, PPP it was gone. YN, shocked, Jungkook. I just bought that yesterday. Jungkook, voice husky, low kitty. Shut that pretty M0UTH and let me do my job. My job. Your breath hitched. His deep, commanding tone sent chills down your spine. You immediately went silent, your B0 die surrendering to the tension. His hand cupped your soft CH euro Res, giving them a firm SQU euro Z before taking one into his M0UTH, flaunting his wicked T.0 NGUE skills. He sue copyright KED on your $10 ITIVEBU. DS like his rent is due or depended on it, relentless and intense. You were left breathless. Your knee PPL euro S numb from the constant SQU euro zing and Su sent king. His hand trailed down slowly, slipping beneath your P at NT euro S. He gently caressed your woman ood before sliding his long fing euro R dollar inside your back arched, eyes rolling back from the sudden wave of plea dollar your one fing euro R turned to 2, then 3. You were trembling beneath his touch, consumed by the growing fire inside you. YN panting IIN euro DU I can't control. Jungkook smirking, oh, my. Baby girl's getting impatient. With no more teasing, he PPED. Both of you bare in seconds and threw $T himself into you without warning. A loud mo at N escaped your Li P dollar as Hick decent K sudden entry knocked the breath out of you. You gasped, swallowing a dry lump in your throat. But before you could protest, his Li P dollar crashed onto yours in AD euro P. Distracting key dollar. His pace was wild dash in him at N. It was overwhelming at first, but soon the pain turned into unimaginable. PLE at dollar your YN mo at ning a da daddy. SL slow do WN, ah. Jungkook whispering darkly, this is just the B euro jinning, honey. We've got all N, GHT, and 7R oons still await you, baby girl. YN 7R0 oons. Was he out of his mind? You could barely handle one. Your body was already on the edge. TR euro MBLING from his intensity. He angled himself perfectly, hitting your GS pot again and again. Your mo at N dollar grew louder, echoing through the room. There was no way the neighbors hadn't heard you by now. His growls mixed with your Cree dollar of plea dollar euro as he pushed harder. D euro per completely lost in the moment. Kindly subscribe my channel if you like the video.